Welcome to the Cenario Podcast, your guide to mental health and well-being. Each episode, we uncover practical tools, discuss expert insights, and explore how supplements can transform your mental health journey. Get ready to learn, grow, and thrive with us.
Okay, so those mornings you wake up feeling, mentally sluggish, or maybe you find yourself snapping at loved ones for seemingly no real reason, or just generally, struggling to get motivated. We've all been there, yeah. That feeling of being emotionally sort of off balance, mental fog, low drive, especially when life gets stressful. And it's just so easy to dismiss it, right? Say, oh, I'm just tired, or it's only stress. Well, what if? What if some of this isn't purely psychological? What if it's actually maybe surprisingly nutritional? Today, we're doing a deep dive into something, well, it's tiny, but it has a huge impact. The essential mineral zinc. It's absolutely foundational for so many things your body does. Immune system, wound healing. And really critically for today, keeping your brain and nervous system firing properly.
Exactly. And here's the thing that often gets missed. A really surprising number of people, we're talking millions, are actually zinc deficient. And one symptom that tends to fly under the radar, it's compromised emotional health. See, when your zinc is low, your brain finds it much harder to regulate key neurotransmitters. Think serotonin, dopamine. Those are the chemicals dictating calmness, focus, motivation. So low zinc can lead to a fundamental breakdown there.
Wow, that's a really powerful link. So, okay, our specific focus for this deep dive then is a very special form of zinc. Zinc Bisglycinate. It's got this reputation for being incredibly easy for your body to absorb, super gentle on the stomach, and highly effective. So our mission today, for you listening, is really to unpack why zinc bisglycinate isn't just another supplement off the shelf, why it's a really smart, science-backed choice if you're looking to support better mental well-being, especially if you deal with mood swings or that constant emotional stress, maybe even burnout. Think of it as maybe uncovering a hidden tool for your emotional resilience. All right, let's peel back the layers here. We've touched on why zinc is important for mood, but like we hinted, it's the specific form that really seems to make a difference. So tell us, what exactly is zinc bisglycinate?
Okay, so at its core, zinc bisglycinate is what we call a chelated form of zinc. Now, chelated just means the zinc mineral isn't like floating around on its own. It's specifically bound very tightly to two molecules of an amino acid. That amino acid is glycine. And glycine itself is actually pretty well known for having its own calming effects on the nervous system. The whole point of this chelation, this binding process, is it makes the mineral much easier for your body to absorb and, crucially, way gentler on your digestive system. It's a clever delivery method, really.
Okay. So it's not just zinc. It's zinc plus glycine. And that glycine helps it get absorbed and brings its own calming benefits. It sounds pretty ideal, honestly, especially since stomach upset is so common with other mineral supplements. So what are the main advantages, then, of this specific bisglycinate form compared to, say, other types of zinc people might see?
Yeah, you've hit on exactly why it's so interesting. There are really three big advantages that set it apart. First, like we mentioned, is enhanced absorption, or bioavailability, that's the technical term. Those glycine molecules basically act like bodyguards for the zinc. They help shuttle it through the intestinal wall much more efficiently.
Okay.
So it gets into your bloodstream faster, and importantly, it doesn't have to fight with other minerals like calcium or iron for the same absorption pathways.
Less competition.
Exactly. Which means your body can actually use more of the zinc you take. It makes it one of the most bioavailable forms out there. Then the second big plus, touching on your point, is fewer digestive side effects. This is huge for a lot of people. Unlike, say, zinc sulfate, that's a common older form, which often causes stomach aches, nausea, sometimes even vomiting.
Yeah, I've heard that, even on an empty stomach, right?
Exactly. Zinc bisglycinate, though, is known for being remarkably gentle on the GI system. It's generally very well tolerated. Even if you have a sensitive stomach or maybe something like IBS, that makes taking it consistently much, much easier. And then the third advantage is this really neat mood-boosting synergy with the glycine itself. See, glycine isn't just a carrier molecule. It actually works as an inhibitory neurotransmitter. Meaning it helps calm the brain down, reduce overstimulation, that sort of thing. So when you combine that natural calming effect of glycine with the zinc, which, remember, helps regulate other mood chemicals like serotonin and GABA, you get this kind of dual benefit. It's a synergistic effect for emotional balance and mental clarity. A real 1-2 punch for brain calm.
That is a fascinating combination. So we've covered what it is, why this form is good, but let's zoom back out a bit. This is where it gets really profound for me. How does zinc, just a mineral, end up playing such a massive role in our mood and brain function? How does something so small have that kind of power over our mental state?
It is pretty incredible, isn't it? And think about this. Zinc is found in really high concentrations in the brain, especially in areas critical for emotion and memory, like the hippocampus. Hippocampus, right. Mood and memory central.
Exactly. So it makes sense that when levels are low, we see problems. Studies consistently link low zinc to specific mood disorders, like depression, for instance. Research shows significantly lower zinc levels in people with major depressive disorder. There was even one study, I think it was in biological psychiatry, that found zinc supplementation actually improved symptoms, even in people who weren't responding well to standard antidepressants.
Whoa, okay. So it's not just a background player. It can actively help, even in tough cases of depression. That's significant. Now, just to clarify, are we suggesting zinc instead of medication, or is it more about support? Oh, absolutely not, instead of prescribed treatments. That's a crucial distinction. We're talking about optimizing the body's foundational resources.
Yeah.
But it does highlight how deeply zinc impacts the underlying neurochemistry. That's not just depression. For anxiety, zinc helps modulate neurotransmitters like GABA, that's your main calming chemical, and glutamate. So it directly impacts your stress response, how calm you feel.
Okay.
And then for things like irritability or mood swings, zinc influences synaptic plasticity, basically how flexible and adaptable your brain connections are, and also the production of BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor.
BDNF, the brain's growth factor.
Right, so zinc helps keep your brain's wiring adaptable and strong, which is fundamental for regulating emotions effectively.
So it's like a maintenance crew for the brain, helping it stay resilient. That's a great way to think about it. Can you maybe elaborate just a bit more on those mechanisms? How else is it working?
Sure. So beyond those direct links, zinc supports mood stability in a few other key ways. First, as we touched on, direct neurotransmitter regulation, serotonin, dopamine, GABA, all crucial for mood, focus, relaxation. Zinc helps keep them balanced. Second, it's vital for antioxidant defense in the brain. It's a cofactor, meaning a helper molecule, for producing an enzyme called superoxide dismutase, or SOD.
SOD.
Yeah, it's a major antioxidant protecting brain cells from damage caused by oxidative stress. Think of it like rust-proofing for your neurons.
Okay, that's important.
Then there's its role in hormonal balance. Zinc is involved in making thyroid hormones and testosterone. Both of those hormones have really strong links to mood and energy levels.
Ah, hormones too. Didn't realize that connection.
Yep. And finally, it really does contribute to neuroplasticity and resilience. It supports the actual formation and repair of neurons. So it enhances the brain's basic ability to adapt to stress over time, which, is just fundamental for long-term mental well-being.
That is quite a list of impacts for one mineral. Which brings up the practical question, right? I imagine listeners are thinking, okay, but why can't I just get this from food? Oysters, meat, seeds. Who really needs to consider a supplement like zinc bisglycinate? If it's so vital, why aren't we hearing about this constantly?
That's a really fair question. And you're right, foods like oysters, they're packed with zinc red meat, pumpkin seeds, lentils. They are good sources. But the reality is, many people still don't get optimal levels through diet alone.
Yeah.
As for why it isn't shouted from the rooftops, well, that gets into the complexities of nutritional science, translating into everyday medical advice, which can be slow sometimes. But practically speaking, certain groups are definitely more likely to benefit from supplementation. People on vegetarian or primarily plant-based diets, for example, because zinc from plants isn't always absorbed as well.
Okay.
Anyone under chronic stress, we know stress, choose through zinc stores. People taking certain medications that interfere with absorption, things like PPIs for acid reflux, or even some birth control pills can have an effect. And definitely anyone with compromised gut health or inflammation, because that just makes absorbing any nutrient harder.
Makes sense.
So yeah, specifically if you find yourself frequently dealing with low mood, irritability, anxiety, or you're managing long-term stress or that feeling of burnout, zinc bisglycinate could be a really valuable piece of the puzzle.
Okay, so for someone listening who identifies with that, maybe feels that mental fog or gets easily stressed and irritable, what does this mean practically? If they want to try it, what should they know? Dosage, timing, what can they expect?
Good questions. For most adults looking for general support, the typical recommendation is around 15 to 30 milligrams of elemental zinc per day. And you want to look for the zinc bisglycinate chelate form specifically on the label.
Got it. 15 to 30 milligrams bisglycinate chelate.
Right. And one of the nice things is you can usually take it with or without food, thanks to how gentle it is. But one key tip, try not to take it at the exact same time as a calcium or iron supplement, because they can sort of compete for absorption.
Okay, separate those out.
Yeah, best practice. Safety-wise, within that recommended dose, it's considered very safe and gentle, suitable for long-term daily use. As for noticing benefits, it varies, of course, but some people report feeling improvements within maybe 2 to 4 weeks, especially if they were deficient to begin with.
2 to 4 weeks, okay.
And you can potentially combine it with other things for added support, like B vitamins and magnesium are great partners for nervous system health. Or adaptogens like ashwagandha or L-theanine could offer synergistic anti-stress effects alongside the zinc.
Okay, so summing this all up, it really sounds like zinc bisglycinate stands out. It offers this potent, easily absorbed, and importantly, well-tolerated form of a mineral that's just essential. Seems particularly valuable for mood balance, helping manage stress, getting more emotional clarity. Its gentle nature, plus that wide-ranging impact on brain health, neurotransmitters, hormones, resilience, and it makes it sound like a really smart, targeted choice for supporting mental well-being.
Absolutely. And maybe the final thought to leave people with is this. Mood and mental well-being, they often feel so incredibly complex, right?
Yeah.
It's so hard to pin down. But sometimes, maybe supporting our emotional landscape can start with understanding these fundamental, sometimes overlooked nutritional building blocks, the things our bodies and brains really crave. It really makes you question, doesn't it? How much of our day-to-day emotional experience, the ups, the downs, the fog, is subtly shaped by what we feed, or maybe don't feed, our brains? It just invites you to consider that profound link between something as seemingly small as a mineral and the huge expanse of your own mental and emotional state.
Thanks for tuning in to the Cenario Podcast. Don't forget to visit Cenario.com for more expert tips, articles, and supplements designed to support your mental health. If you enjoyed this episode, remember to subscribe and share it with a friend. Until next time, take care of yourself.